ونستغفره. نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صفيه من خلقه وخليل، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة فكشف الله به الغمة، وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين. اللهم اجزه عنا خير ما جزيت نبيا عن أمته ورسولا عن رسالته. All praise be to Allah, King of the world, the Master of the Day of Judgment. I bear witness no one is worthy of worship but Allah Azza wa Jal. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the last and greatest messenger, was sent to mankind to bring them out of the darkness of this world to the light of this world and the hereafter, and from the injustices of religions to the justice of Islam. إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي المقصرة بتقوى الله، وأن نقدم لأنفسنا أعمالا تبيض وجوهنا يوم نلقى الله، يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. I remind you and remind myself to fear Allah Azza wa Jal. And I remind you and remind myself to put forth deeds that will brighten our faces on the day we meet Allah Azza wa Jal. On a day that nothing will help you. Not how much money you had, not how much power you got, not how many children you had, not what business you got, but the only thing that will help you is how you've done with Allah Azza wa Jal and your deeds that you have done in this world. My beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, living in this world and seeing what goes around, actually without seeing anything, the person amongst us is very prone to stress and very weak and very susceptible, and anything can stress him. And when stress takes place, it tends to paralyze the person, and it tends to slow him down from doing anything. And the disease of stress or distress is very common. And some statistics show that at least 60% of people in this country suffer from some kind of stress or depression. And our deen addresses this issue, and our religion did not neglect it. This deen did not neglect way simpler things and way smaller things than this very widespread or spread issue and disease. Wallah Azza wa Jal, when He put us here, He wants us to be functional, and He wanted us to perform, and He wanted us to contribute. And He subhanahu wa ta'ala knows well how He created us. He knows that we are very weak. and he knows that easily anything can affect us and stop us from fulfilling this purpose that he put us for. With that fact known, he also subhanahu wa ta'ala set for us the cure. فإن الله عز وجل لم يخلق داء إلا أنزل له الدواء. Allah Azza wa Jal did not create a disease, but He sent down for it the cure. كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. مر إبراهيم بن أدهم رحمه الله تعالى على رجل مهموم، فقال إني سائلك فأجبني. إبراهيم بن أدهم رحمه الله تعالى, one of the stars of this ummah, passed by a man who was in distress. So he told him, I will ask you questions. So answer. فقال له أو يصير شيء في هذا العالم لم يقدره الله. He said, does anything take place in this world that Allah did not decree? He said, no. And anything can happen here without the permission of Allah? He said, no. He said, أو ينقصك أحدا أو أحد رزقك الذي قدره الله له. Does anyone take away some provision and sustenance that Allah decreed for you? He said, no. قال وينقص أجلك لحظة لم يكتبها الله أو كتبها الله. Will you die a minute or a second before what Allah decreed? He said, no. قال فلم الهم إذن. He said, why are you distressed then? Why are you stressed then? عباد الله, stress is جند من جنود الله. Stress is one of the soldiers of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَمَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُوَ. One of the soldiers of Allah Azza wa Jal, that He subhanahu wa ta'ala will test the person with it to see how he would do and how he would act. وهذا علي رضي الله عنه, when he was asked عن أشد جنود الله قوة, he was asked about the mightiest of the soldiers of Allah. فقال الجبال والجبال يقطعها الحديد فالحديد أقوى. He said the mountains, and the mountains can be destroyed with iron, so the iron is stronger, and the iron يذيبه النار أو تذيبه النار, and iron can be melted with fire, so then fire is stronger. والماء يطفئ النار, and the water puts out the fire. فالماء أقوى. والسحاب يحمل الماء, and the clouds carry the water. فالسحاب أقوى, so the clouds stronger. والرياح تلعب بالسحاب, and the winds play with the clouds, move it wherever it wants. فالرياح أقوى, so the wind stronger. والرجل يتكفأ الريح بيده وثوبه, and the person get the wind away from him with his clothes and his hand. فالإنسان أقوى. So the person or man is stronger. والرجل يغلبه النوم فالنوم أقوى. And a man cannot resist sleep. So sleeping is stronger. والهم يغلب النوم فالهم أشد وأقوى. And stress prevents sleep. So the stress is stronger. Stronger. Ibad Allah. This is something we cannot run away from. But we must have and we must know and have knowledge of how to deal with it. Because it can paralyze you 100%. And it can stop you from acting 100%. You could be paralyzed in your limbs, but still function. A leg or an arm could stop working, but you can still function. Amma with stress and with ham and gham, you can be completely paralyzed even though if you're alive. Even though you're alive and you're walking and you're moving around, it can't stop you completely. No wonder the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and the dua that he used to make frequently. And we have mentioned that before. He used to say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-hazan wal-ajzi wal-kasal wal-bukhli wal-jubn وأعوذ بك من قطع الدين وغلبة الرجال. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to make the dua or such dua frequently. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from ilham wal hazan. And he starts with ilham. And he starts with distress. Ilham. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from ilham. والحزن and grief. Grief. To be sad for what happened before. And these things tend to stop the person from performing. Tends to paralyze the person completely. And then the next two, he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam seek refuge in the same dua. وَالْعَجْزِ وَالْكَسَلِ. وَالْعَجْزِ, weakness. And الكسل, laziness. فالهم والحزن and stress and grief tends to paralyze you. Sometimes you have control to stop it. And that's why he sought refuge in الكسل. فالكسل and laziness is optional. But yet if you allow it to take place, you will not function. Wal-ajz is to be incapable, involuntarily, to be weak and have no power to function. And when these things take place, this will prevent any good to come. And will welcome any shar and any evil. And you sit and do nothing. And stop functioning and fulfilling your purpose. That's why the next two things that he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sought refuge in. وَمِنَ الْجُبْنِ وَالْبُخْلِ. فأنت, when you become paralyzed and dysfunctional, you fail to perform with your body because you're scared, and that is al-jubn and cowardice. And you fail to perform with your money, and that is miserliness, being cheap. That's al-bukhl. And what comes out of that? قهر حق وقهر باطل. You get overcome by debt because you're not doing anything and you need to survive. And that is true overcome. When you borrow money and you cannot pay back, and you get overwhelmed and overcome, that is true. That's justified. وَقَهْرِ الرِّجَالِ أو غَلَبَةِ الرِّجَالِ. and to be overpowered by men. You get oppressed when you cannot stand up for yourself. And when you become dysfunctional, you get overpowered by men who are going to take advantage of your weakness. And this is false overcome and false overpower. So the Prophet ﷺ, with this great harmony, with these terms, and the great occasion, with these specific things that he asked refuge in, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, gives you a solution, gives you a result that is imminent when you choose to allow distress and grief to take over you. It's a very dangerous thing. يقول الله عز وجل فمن يرد الله أن يهديه يشرح صدره للإسلام ومن يرد أن يضله يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء كذلك يجعل الله الرجس على الذين لا يؤمنون. When you distressed, you feel tight. Regardless of how big and spacious this world is, you feel tight. Even your own body feels so straight and so tight to carry you. يقول الله عز وجل whomever Allah wants to guide, He will open his heart and his chest for Islam. The chest will feel so spacious and so relaxed. And whomever Allah Azza wa Jal wants to be misguided, يجعل صدره ضيق. He will make his chest straight, ضيقا حرجا, tight, as if he's transcending in the air. As you know, as you go up, the pressure becomes more and higher. So you get more squeezed. كأنما يصعد في السماء كذلك يجعل الله الرجس على الذين لا يؤمنون. And this is how Allah inflict the distress and najasa and uncleanliness on those who disbelieve. On those who disbelieve. هذه الآية فيها حل. This ayah has a solution for the people who suffer from this. And perhaps it's each one of us without exception. But each one of us is distressed for different reasons. And it's very important you make that reason noble. Noble. But at the same time you seek refuge in Allah Azza wa Jal from such distress so you can function towards such noble cause. نسأل الله عز وجل أن يعيذنا من الهم والحزن وأن يعيذنا من الكسل والعجز وأن يعيذنا من الجبن والبخل وأن يعيذنا من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فيا جمع المستغفرين استغفروه. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. وأصلي وأسلم على خير هادي المبعوث رحمة للعالمين محمد بن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. عباد الله, stress is a disease, and for it is a cure. This cure is not necessarily a chemical solution that you buy from the pharmacy. And it's not necessarily a natural herb that you get from the mountains. The solution is Allah. And to be with Allah Azza wa Jal. Ibad Allah, we have to believe. And we have to have yaqeen in Allah Azza wa Jal. That's what we lack. We always and we all talk about and we all dream about how we want to be the best people, and how we are stressed about the affairs of the Muslims and the affairs of the Ummah. And when some brothers asked me last week about what's their obligations toward this Ummah, and every time I answered, I got interrupted, as if the answer was not satisfactory. Because my answer was focused on one point, and that is to rebuild the relationship with Allah. But for many of us, it's not satisfactory, because we do not really trust that Allah can change things. We don't trust that Allah can change things, because we are so thinking of the material causes, because we only think material, because our lives orbiting around materials, controlled by materials. So we cannot think beyond that. So every time I answer, they say, we understand that, and we know that, and we know we need to go back to Allah, but what we need to do? This is what you need to do. Going back to Allah is not secondary or tertiary issue. That is the primary and the main issue. The main issue. Everything falls in place after that. What do you want me to tell you? We need to have armies and weapons and finances. We have a lot of that, but we don't even dare to use it. We don't dare to use it to protect ourselves. We don't trust Allah, because we always know that if we have an army, they have a stronger one. If they have weapons, they got more. We got it from them. That is not the solution. The solution is to have yaqeen and trust in Allah Azza wa Jalla again. You want to lead the world. You want to be the Imam of the world. قال الله تعالى وجعلنا منهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا لما صبروا وكانوا بآياتنا يوقنون. And we made them leaders. We made them leaders in the world. Lead by our guidance when they were patient and they were on a level of certainty and yaqeen of our words. We have to trust Allah again. وحديث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم and the cure for stress remind you of this fact. Remind you of the fact that you are to Allah and you belong to Him, and you need to attach yourself to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. ففي دعاء الكرب الوارد والصحيح, the dua that is reported about the Prophet ﷺ teaching us the solution for stress. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, when one of you goes through stress, then he should say these words: اللهم إني عبدك وابن عبدك وابن أمتك ناصيتي بيدك ماض في حكمك عدل في قضاؤك أسألك اللهم بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن ربيع قلبي ونور صدري وجلاء حزني وذهاب همي وغمي. كلمات, few words that remind you of the first and the primary and the most important solution. Oh Allah, I'm your slave, the son of your slave, the son of your she-slave. My father and my mother are your slave. To remind you of your weakness, we have to admit and we have to acknowledge the fact that we are nothing and weak without Allah, no matter what we have on the side. We are your slave, my father and my mother and me, your slaves. We're nothing without you. Nasiyati biyadik. My forehead is in your hand. You control me the way you want. This is a sign of control. You control me the way you want. ماضٍ في حكمك. What you decree regarding me will take place. I cannot stop it. عدل في قضاؤك. What you decide and your judgment is fair. What happens to me is fair. أسألك بكل اسم هو لك. I ask you by every name you have, every name you taught me, and every name you sent down in your book, or you taught one of your servants, or every name that you chose to keep in secret with you, to make the Quran the spring of my heart and the light of my chest, and the bearer of my grief, and the eliminator of my distress. Do you see anything material in this dua? And look in the other dua, which is even stranger. Inta you want something. Inta you're in stress. You want relief. But look at this dua. The dua of distress as well. The dua of getting rid of calamities and هم. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا إله إلا الله العظيم الحليم لا إله إلا الله رب العرش العظيم لا إله إلا الله رب السماوات ورب الأرض ورب العرش الكريم. وين السؤال؟ Where is the request? If the first one had a request, and it all has to do with the Quran, where is the request in this dua? La ilaha illallah, and you all know what it is. La ilaha illallah, al-azim, al-halim, the mighty, the forbearing. La ilaha illallah, rabbul arsh al-azim. La ilaha illallah, the Lord of the great and the mighty arsh and throne. لا إله إلا الله رب السماوات, the Lord of the heavens, ورب الأرض, the Lord of the earth, ورب العرش الكريم, and the Lord of the noble throne. Where is the request? Abdullah, when you trust Allah Azza wa Jal, and when you attach yourself to Him, and when you have yaqeen in Him, and when you know He's the only one who can help you, you will feel shy to ask. Your love for Him made you accept everything that goes on, to the point where even though what's happening is a source of distress, you praising Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you know at the end it's good. La ilaha illallah. Oh Allah, I'm in distress, but because I love you and I trust you, I'm gonna praise you. I'm gonna praise you. So I'm gonna say La ilaha illa ant. I'm gonna say La ilaha illa ant. And I'm gonna praise you with the greatest thing you created. the throne. And you know what I need. So I will not say La ilaha illallah. And in the last dua, Allahumma rahmataka arju. Allahumma rahmataka arju. Oh Allah, your mercy I seek. Your mercy I hope for. لا تكلني لنفسي طرفة عين. Do not leave me to myself a blink of an eye. يعني أنا you leave me a blink of an eye, I'm lost. Allah ya akhwan, if Allah leaves you for a millisecond or a fraction of a second to yourself to take care of your own affairs, you're gone. Allahumma rahmataka arju. لا تكلني لنفسي طرفة عين وأصلح لي شأني كله لا إله إلا أنت. And correct all my affairs. Correct all my affairs. The one of us think with his experience, with his people around him, with his family, with his money, with whatever, he thinks he can fix his affairs. Before all that, he should remember that he should not be left. He should beg Allah not to be left to himself for a second. Because none will help and nothing will help if Allah leaves you to yourself. All these ad'iyah and all these dua and more have to do with distress. That is the solution, ibadah. And that's what's going to get us out of this. Once we put distress aside, we can move forward, we can function, and we can prosper. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد وارض اللهم عن الصحابة والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وعنا معهم بلطفك وكرمك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا شر ما قضيت اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين اللهم انصرنا يا رب العالمين اللهم من أرادنا وأراد ديننا بخير فيسره لكل خير ومن أرادنا وأراد ديننا بشر فخذه أخذ عزيز مقتدر اللهم أصلحنا وأصلح شؤوننا اللهم أصلح شؤوننا كلها يا رب العالمين اللهم ردنا إلى ديننا ردا جميلا اللهم ردنا إلى ديننا ردا جميلا اللهم اجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير اللهم اجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر وصل اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وأقم الصلاة